Hello and welcome to Left, Right and Centre, the only show on primetime television that gets you all the sides to the story. I'm Sanket Upadhyay. Congress President doesn't want to be Congress President. Former party chief says electoral processes need change. And the UP East General Secretary says she will identify the workers who did not work for the party. All these three are Gandhis. And the party is the Congress. 21 days since 23rd of May, the two national parties have now become a study in contrast. One party has settled their party chief issue by deferring the decision by 6 months, has begun the internal election process, preparing for the state elections, and the other has a big question mark on just about everything. So the question that we are asking is this: does the Congress even have a revival strategy in place as of this moment? How will it play the role of the much-needed opposition in this country? Rahul doesn't want to be chief. Sonia says electoral process needs fixing. Priyanka says we'll find which worker did not work. As BJP begins its mega brainstorm meet, what is the Congress's game plan? On Left, Right and Centre tonight, we critically analyse whether the Congress has in it to play the role of an important opposition. What's the Congress's blueprint for revival? So the fundamental question for today's edition of Left, Right and Centre is, what is the Congress party's blueprint for revival? Is there one already, or will it happen? And what should that be? I have a fantastic panel tonight to discuss this. We have Manishankar Iyer, senior Congress leader, who always has a lot to say. He has a lot of options and solutions for the Congress party in his personal capacity, of course. We've got Mr. Rashid Kidwai. He's an author and visiting fellow of the ORF, joining us live from Bhopal. Rajesh Sharma, leader of the BJP, is with us. Lord Meghnath Desai, professor of economics and director of the Centre for the Study of Global Governance, London School of Economics. Bahut pehle ki baat hai, but has a lot of keen interest as far as this subject is concerned. Sudha Pai, professor of Centre of Political Studies at JNU, and Dilip Cherian is an image guru right here in the studio. Mr. Manishankar Iyer, we'll begin with you first. Would you like to offer 3 suggestions for the Congress party, solutions for the Congress party?
I first want to clarify that official spokesmen of the Congress party have been told not to appear on TV channels. If I've accepted your invitation, with great reluctance I might add, it is because I'm not an official spokesman of the Congress party, so I know nothing of what is happening inside, what our leadership is thinking of, what suggestions they have, and all I can do is to answer your question as a man in the street. I really know nothing about the Congress that you do not know.
That's quite
and you probably know much more. I think it would be idiotic for a party that has suffered such a major reverse to give an answer to your question, what is your strategy for revival, in 3 weeks' time? Especially in a situation where the Congress president, having fully accepted responsibility for the reverses that the party has suffered, has submitted his resignation. So therefore, why do you want an answer in 3 weeks? We don't have to fight another election in a state for at least another 7 months. And as far as I can remember, I think it's Delhi that's coming up first.
No, you've got Haryana, you've got Maharashtra.
Well, we fight those when they come. It'll be 3 or 4 months. But to give you an answer which will keep you pleased in 3 weeks' time would be thoroughly irresponsible on our part. And you've given me the example of how the BJP is doing it.
No, I'm just saying it's a study in contrast. I'm talking about the present right now.
Yeah, but you are from everything that has been presented so far, you're in praise of the BJP. Well, naturally, they have a president. They are in a mood of triumph. They can do these things. At the moment, if the Congress president has resigned and we don't have another president in place, who's going to convene these meetings? So please don't try and make a story out of these contrasts. The contrast is the consequence of what happened 3 weeks ago, which is that we were able to improve our position in the Lok Sabha by only 8 seats. or perhaps it was even less than that, and that the BJP has improved its position by about 20 seats, and its total alliance by several more. So naturally, the situation of the ruling dispensation will be different to what ours is.
Okay.
But we have a 134-year history in which we've suffered many, many reversals. And out of these, we've always emerged. So I have every confidence that however much somebody wants a Gandhi Mukt Congress and then a Congress Mukt Bharat, their dreams and their ambitions are not going to be fulfilled. We have been here and we'll remain.
Okay, interesting. But you didn't answer my original question of your 3 suggestions or solutions for the Congress party's revival. I'll come back.
Okay,
let me quickly take the opinion of others also. Lord Meghnad Desai.
Yeah.
First of all, do you think that the Congress at this moment has to figure out that there is a problem? And in our previous broadcast on the Hindi station, I was telling Mr. Manishankar Iyer that it is often said in corporate parlance that the problem almost always lies at the top. You fix the top and then everything else will follow. The whole structure has to respect the top. So everything goes top down. Do you think that is one basic problem in the Congress party right now, the top?
No, I think, let me say it this way. Congress should have started thinking of a strategy in 2014 when it lost seriously. For 5 years, Congress did not think of any strategy. It did not look at its organization. You talk about top, but there is no bottom.
Very interesting.
You know, the thing is that there's a working committee of nice elderly people, there is a president, there's all that. But, you know, I have done some practical work in UK fighting elections. And I know how difficult you have to have volunteers who will be present at every polling station. You have to have people who knock on doors, find out what they want. And, you know, politics is a 24/7, 365 game. You have to go on and on and on working. And basically, Congress still thinks that because they are Congress and they have been around for ages, the country will come back to them. Now, you know, they ought to study, at least with some humility, how seriously, professionally the BJP organized itself. For the 2019 election, study how Jyotiraditya Scindia lost his seat. The Rajya Sabha member from BJP worked for 4 years, went around every village in that constituency, found out what the complaints was, addressed them. Now, you see, that is the kind of, you know, my party, political Labour Party, lost 3 elections in a row. And then we had to basically devise our ideology. We had to say, listen, something is wrong. Mrs. Thatcher is winning elections. Unemployed people were voting for Mrs. Thatcher and not for us. And we were supposed to be a socialist party. So we had to say, listen to the people. People are telling us something. Reorganize yourself, rethink your strategy, redesign your policy. It's a very painful process.
Yeah, and it's time consuming.
Time consuming, resource consuming, but we did that. It's not just the top, it's not just the fact that Tony Blair was there, but through the party. I was a constituency chairman for 6 years. And we know how much hard we had to work.
Okay.
So I think it is a matter of not just the president, but everybody. And I think if the president wants to resign, he should be allowed to go, and elections should be held very quickly.
Rashid Kidwai, let me come to you. This is a question again I asked Mr. Manishankar Iyer, and I would take the liberty to say you did not like the construct of the question. You look at each and every state and there is a problem with the Congress party. Every state, Karnataka, a strain in the alliance with the JDS, Rajasthan, a chorus to remove Ashok Gehlot, Punjab, a huge rift between the captain as well as Navjot Singh Sidhu. There is an entire map. This map of this country, you pick up a state and there is a problem. Starting from Delhi, everywhere else. In Madhya Pradesh, the government is hanging by a thread. Maharashtra, seat sharing with NCP, unclear. Haryana, infighting among leaders. We know it's an epic fight and Haryana is about to go to polls. Jharkhand, no talk of any future alliance with the GMM, at least as of this moment. At a time like this, how do you assess this situation? See, as Lord Meghnad Desai was saying, politics is a 24/7 profession, much like journalism. It is a 24/7 profession. In fact, it's a mission. Do you think that the Congress has not been able to realize this reality in its present form?
I think Sanket, everyone in the Congress and outside realizes that the Congress is in mess, and there are a lot of problems are there. But in simple one word, it is a problem of who will build the cat. Rahul Gandhi has taken a wise, thoughtful decision of stepping down as Congress president. The party is unwilling to accept the reality of it and make an alternative arrangement. Now, there is nobody in the Congress who can come forward and say, all right, I mean, Rahul Gandhi has resigned, let's find, as per the constitution or for some kind of, practical mechanism, let us have a kind of alternative arrangement. They are still expecting, Gandhis, for the better Rahul, Priyanka Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi to take a lead. At the same time, Rahul Gandhi has, made it very clear that neither he is in race nor he wants, Priyanka Gandhi to become Congress president as his successor. So this is a problem that the Congress, particularly working committee members or those who matter, they cannot muster enough, courage to talk candidly and convene a meeting of either Congress working committee or AICC or workers convention. There are so many things. The Congress history is full of all such instances. One major problem with the Congress is that unlike 1977 or earlier, you see nobody is leaving the Congress. So all those ambitious sycophants, loyalists, whatever the kind of label you want to put, they all want to stay in Congress and be part of the party offices and posts and all. So this is a real problem. It's in mess by its own making because there is no way forward, because no one wants to talk about it.
And it's the uncomfortable truth. I'll tell you something. Let's quickly put up that graphic also on screen as I ask this question of Sudha Pai. Sudha, and then Dilip can also come in. There seems to be a command conundrum at this moment. You've got the BJP, which is talking about an organizational restructuring. That process has begun. Amit Shah will retain his position as the party president for 6 months. What is the Congress strategy as of this moment? A revolving question. You've got a meeting on possibly finding Shah's successor. That decision has been deferred by 6 months. You definitely know what the party is doing. In the Congress's case, obviously they're out of a defeat. A revolving question. The parliamentary strategy, the BJP has decided on introducing the triple talaq bill, and others also have been approved in the union cabinet. What is the Congress's strategy going to be in parliament? A revolving question. Rajnath is the deputy leader in Lok Sabha, Thawar Chand Gehlot leader in Rajya Sabha. We do not know who are going to represent the leadership in parliament. For instance, Sonia Gandhi may be the CPP head, but who are the people who are going to lead in the respective houses? A revolving question. We can go on and on, but Sudha Pai, do you think that at this moment when they're trying to settle a leadership issue, it has to begin somewhere? As Lord Meghnad Desai said, it should have begun in 2014.
I think they should have sat down and addressed the issue soon after the election. They have taken too long over it and no decision has been taken so far. They would have to accept the fact that Rahul Gandhi has resigned, and they would have to appoint somebody else, either as working president or as full-time president, and reorganize the Congress working committee and take it on from there. They have taken too long over it, and the result is, as you said, confusion in the states, and also have no strategy with parliament due very soon. So in a sense, the Congress is in a deep crisis today. There's no doubt about it. In contrast to, as you said, the BJP, where decisions are taken very fast and in a very determinate manner. That is not happening, unfortunately, within the Congress.
No, but then I remember 2009 when the Congress party came back. There was a UPA too, Dilip. I'm sure you also are aware. There was mayhem in the BJP. Nobody knew what is happening. There were resignations flying around. It's so maybe Mr. Manishankar Iyer is right in saying that give us some time to reconfigure, realign. But do you think that taking a bit too much?
No, I don't.
Sanket, in my view,
I
the
feel
Congress
that
party,
Yeah, Ms. Sudha, I'll come to you.
the Congress party is defying a basic law of physics, which is that
Which is?
the nature abhors a vacuum. It seems to be very comfortable with this vacuum concept. Okay. The second thing is that, like the EVM machines of today, they also love nota. So, nothing other than another meaning another Gandhi.
Yeah.
Okay. And the most terrifying thing to me, and
what is their option?
from an image perspective, the only option they have is, remember that the Congress party has more members in the CWC than they have in Parliament. So, they should hold a secret ballot of all currently elected MPs and all CWC members, make it truly secret and come up with a solution. If Mr. Rahul Gandhi wants to step down, he should be entitled to what he thinks is in the best interest of the party. I am sure that these wise people can put their heads together, and the CWC contains enough choices, and if you add on the newly elected MPs and maybe the Rajya Sabha MPs, you throw all of them in, put them together in a room and say, here's a secret ballot, do it and let's move on.
No, but then will that work in the Congress party? Don't you think its construct is around the family? Mr. Manishankar Iyer said that,
that is why I
however
said
people may try to have a Gandhi Mukt Congress and a Congress Mukt Bharat, it's deep seated that this is a family which is going to.
It's a matter of designating that person who's elected appropriately. You could designate him initially as working president and let him or her, hopefully, run the organization for a certain period of time.
Okay.
And then maybe the family will have to endorse that
Mr.
person.
Manishankar Iyer, you've waited patiently for a while. Let me just quickly get in the view from the BJP and I'll come back to you. Yes, Mr. Rajesh Sharma. I know you're rubbing your hands in glee at this moment because everything's working fine in your party. But let me ask you this important question. Do you or do you not feel that there is a strong need for a strong opposition in this country?
Yeah, we feel that there should be a strong opposition. It is always required. We never deny that. But at the same time, whatever is going on into Congress is their internal thing. We don't want to comment on that. But at the same time, you can see we have the way we have created history. Last election, we won after 3 decades with absolute majority, then increasing the vote share, increasing the seats. That means in the year 2014, persons had a ray of hope on Narendra Modi. Now they repose their faith on Narendra Modi that he is the one who is going to change the face and future of the country. And he had performed in all way. Our rural votes have increased drastically. That shows that the Awas, the Bijli, Ujjwala, whatsoever we have provided has reached the end users. Jan Dhan account, direct benefit transfer had reached.
Assessment of your victory.
Yeah, I feel that.
Your assessment.
It is my assessment. At the same time, it can be known from the world round. If you go to the rural India, you can find out persons getting the benefit of toilets in their house.
Okay.
So those things can be seen from the public at large.
Let me come back to Mr. Manishankar Iyer. You've heard the view of everyone. You've heard suggestions from Lord Meghnad Desai, from Dilip Cherian. They're not in the Congress party, right? Now you tell me, when you hear this opinion, do you think that the Congress at this moment has shut itself to some wise opinion?
I totally disagree with that suggestion. Rahul Gandhi himself has said that there is a month before his resignation becomes effective. So, to expect the Congress to foreshorten it within these 2 or 3 weeks that you're talking of is unrealistic. We'll find a solution. And you don't need the genius of Dilip Cherian to look at the history of the Congress. After Panditji overthrew Purushottam Das Tandon in 1951, he remained the president of the Congress for a few months, and then from UN Debar till at least Brahmanand Reddy, we had presidents of the Congress who were neither a Nehru nor a Gandhi. And so we have plenty of experience of having presidents of the party, and in the case of Rajiv Gandhi, although he was the president, he had working presidents who were very powerful individuals, particularly I'd say Arjun Singh.
Okay.
So we can easily find an answer to this that is in keeping with the Congress tradition. If we can find, and it will have to be by a consensus that necessarily has to be out of the public realm if it is going to endure afterwards. Secondly, there is plenty of time to work out what it is that went wrong. And when you selectively take one sentence from what each of these people have said and then show it, and this is what they're saying, it's rubbish.
No, why is it rubbish?
They've said a great deal more. They've said a great deal more than you have shown at the beginning of this program. Therefore, I would much rather trust my own party than leave it to NDTV to decide where we go.
NDTV is just facilitating a discussion, Lord Meghnad. I see the point over here is that these statements have been made, and these statements will be absorbed and consumed by whatever is left of the Sangathan in
Yes,
Uttar
of course.
Pradesh.
But
do you
they
think
all-
your messaging is?
but do you
you are
think-
up against on-point messaging?
Do you think?
Do you see the difference?
I see the difference,
Yeah.
and I'm afraid we've had to adopt this. We never had a social media organization until this lot came into existence, and all the lies that are told in it, and all the distortions that are taken. It's become a global problem. What do you do with the social media? So don't ask me to imitate them. What I'm proposing to do is, as an individual, I have some ideas.
Yeah, please,
These
let's-
were the
let's-
three ideas
you propose your
that I
ideas,
mentioned to you in the interview that we did earlier. Number one, not only has the Congress undertaken 3 or 4 introspection reports in the past, those suggestions have also been taken to the Congress Working Committee, and some of them have been accepted by the Congress Working Committee. And earlier, when Rajiv Gandhi made his rather revolutionary speech at the centenary in 1985, he then set up the Uma Shankar Dikshit Committee, which also produced some radical suggestions about the democratization of the party. So, since there are accepted suggestions from the past,
So they must be implemented.
I think I would like, well, maybe they need to be relooked at, but there is a base on which
Okay.
organizational matters can be handled.
Okay, interesting.
Insofar as coping with the results of this election are concerned, I know that the Prime Minister himself and several newspaper wallahs have said that chemistry beat arithmetic. But the arithmetic was never put into place. We didn't have an alliance anywhere. Now I think we have to recognize that a lot of the regional parties are breakaways from the Congress party. And the Congress began as a movement from 1885 to 1947. It was a movement that accommodated a wide variety of views. Then when we became a party, things like party discipline came into it. So I think we should be thinking in terms of bringing back the Congress party, not necessarily by merging these regional outfits into ourselves, but adopting a kind of confederal approach, which we had for, well, 90 years before independence. Then third, I think we ought to work towards proposing and pushing a view of the Constitution that is not the one that was taken in 1948, namely that ours is a unitary constitution with federal features. I'm quoting Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, but emphasizing now in the prospective 5 years how we should make it truly federal by giving far more, well, number one, by bringing the financial provisions of the Constitution in line with the distribution of responsibilities. That has not been done. The center holds much more of the money, whereas the Constitution gives much more of the responsibilities to the states. Secondly, and this is the point I want to emphasize, that federalism today cannot be the center in the state. It has to bring the panchayats in. So what is the form of devolution that will take place from the states to the panchayats? That has been effectively done in a few states, but largely not done.
So these are three suggestions.
We've got a whole process that can be thought about.
Lord Meghnad Desai, what do you have to say about this?
Well,
the three solutions for the Congress.
Mani Singh has been in Congress for a long time, and so his attitude is, don't tell us what to do, we know. We've already done it, and we don't want any advice from anybody else. Perfectly sound strategy, but I doubt it will succeed. There was a party called the Liberal Party, which won 3 elections solidly, 1905 and so on. In 1922, it split in a coalition with the Conservatives and didn't come to power for the next 90 years. Being an old party, having a history, having great thinkers in the Liberal Party, including people like John Maynard Keynes, all this sort of stuff, the best economists in the world, belong to a losing party. You know, you really have, unfortunately, to accept social media. You have to organize seriously. But more than that, I would say Congress, good as it is, it should renew itself. And I would say, following what Dilip said, you know, I would say just people elected lately, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they should consider the collegium which will make the decisions to who the next president would be. I would not include the Congress Working Committee. Great people they are. Not one of them has won an election to Lok Sabha in 1,000 years. So I think it needs to reinvigorate itself, renew itself, not just at the top, but you know, down below as well.
You're suggesting a structural change in the
I'm
Congress
saying
party,
structural
in their
change in the
decision-making
interest
process.
of the Congress reviving and living.
Okay, interesting. Dilip, very quickly, and then Rashid.
Saket, the big problem that we are not addressing, and this is the elephant in the room, is that the electorate has moved on. It has become a whole bunch younger. They are irreverent and they are extremely impatient. You have to recognize that the rise of social media has made everybody not just an instant pundit, but also instantly demanding and insistent on being heard. So the Congress party has, in some senses, because of the weight of its own history, forgotten that today's electorate, which is 50% in their 30s, 50 and more percent in their 30s, is not going to listen to, history, process, all of that. They want action, they want to see it now, and they want to grab that, which is what the BJP has done very successfully. It has tapped into the young minds, besides the women and all of that with their schemes. But the fact is that social media plus the whole chemistry of Mr. Modi has worked for young people, and that's what the Congress party is unwilling to change.
You think Rahul Gandhi had that advantage?
I
given
think
that
he had
age by his side.
I think he had that advantage. He can still grab that opportunity, but he has to make sure that the old don't actually suffocate this party and make it like the Liberal Party, which has just
What are you suggesting? A Margdarshak Mandal for the Congress?
Of those below at least 50, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Rashid Kidwai, you wanted to come in. Rashid.
Yeah, I think the Congress needs back to basics approach. I mean, there is no other way. Congress has all ideology, programs, constitution, everything that they need, they have it. Problem with Congress is its present day culture, and both at the level of Gandhis and rest of the Congress. Gandhis have taken a good decision. They know that what they are talking, but they are not seen as credible people in terms of voters' response as the ones who should be leading the party from the front. So this is a signal. They have understood it well. The Congress is unwilling to accept it. So it was the whole problem. I said it's who will build the cat. And second thing is that somewhere Mr. Iyer may not like this formulation of mine, but somewhere that entire party is enjoying this kind of war of attrition. The Gandhis are liking this aspect that the whole party is unwilling to look at a leadership issue without them. So there is some kind of thing that they think that they are still extremely popular and relevant within the Congress, and somewhere in the Congress there is a kind of crab culture. They don't want anyone else to become powerful and important the way Sitaram Kesri had become at one point, Narasimha Rao. the key issue is that nobody is suggesting that Gandhis should not be important leader or key campaigners of the Congress party. You look at Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he was always a very towering, a very important leader of the BJP. But how many times did he was he holding any kind of organizational post? So there can be mechanism, but whole thing is everyone is looking for a signal. In the Congress meetings, the signal used to come from R.K. Dhawan, from M.L. Fatedar, from number of self proclaimed loyalists. Now there is none. Everybody is looking at some kind of signal from Sonia Gandhi, from K.C. Venugopal or somebody, so that a kind of alternative arrangement is worked out.
Okay. Okay. Before I come to you, Rajesh as well as Sudha, let's talk about suggestion number 2 of Mr. Manishankar Iyer, that like-minded parties must come together. Whatever that congregation be called, I don't know, maybe he can elaborate, but are you suggesting a merger? For instance,
Again,
the NCP. Are you suggesting that these parties, which are in a way, they split and came off from the Congress?
I was very clear.
Yeah.
That I was not using the word merger.
Okay.
I was saying a confederal structure. I was saying the recreation of a larger family. I was saying go back to what the Congress was before independence. It was a movement. In fact, in Tamil Nadu, we still call it a per iyakam. We don't call it a katshi. That is, we call it a movement. The Congress, even today, we don't call it a party because it was always a movement. It was a very large banyan tree under which everybody could gather because they were all agreed that India should be free. And only the RSS and people like that were outside this because they had a curious notion of what this country was and what freedom would be. So,
interesting you talk about Tamil Nadu because we all know for how many decades the Congress has been away from power.
And
that state.
And yet, it's very interesting. We have been out of power for 52 years, right? And we are still there. We've still got somebody in every village who proudly raises the Congress flag. You were talking about somebody who defeated Jyotiraditya Scindia. Well, I did exactly the same, but I got defeated. So, these easy equations that you make between going to villages and making speeches and getting elected. The election process involves, as he would readily agree, much more Narendra Modi than any candidate in what he did. So therefore, be a little more nuanced.
Okay.
I would say the Congress needs to check on what happened in every constituency. But the idea that we did nothing, I've had more people in my booths in this election. I've had more people who were registered under Project Shakti than ever before. I had 40,000 registered workers of the supporters of the Congress. Now, I didn't get the seat, so they're all very disappointed and we're wondering what happened. But the fact is that even in defeat, and Tamil Nadu is the best example of it, there is a Congress, and it is a Congress that is sought.
Okay.
The BJP is not even sought there. The Congress is sought.
Okay, Rajesh Sharma, before I come to you, I have to go to Sudha Pai. Sudha, this suggestion, we're talking about, strategy, a revival strategy for the Congress party. And one suggestion that comes in from Mr. Manishankar Iyer is a confederation, a sort of a group of parties that come together. I don't know how different this is going to be from, say, an alliance, right? But these like-minded parties coming together and fighting.
Mahagathbandhan, not connected with elections.
Mahagathbandhan is a
Not
grand
connected
alliance.
with elections.
Yes.
I was saying, I'm not jumping the gun. I'm saying that let's all get together and we're bound to. In the opposition in parliament, we'll all be together. And 52 people is more than 44. So if we could be an opposition last time, we can certainly be an opposition this time.
Okay, okay. Sudha, where do you stand on this proposal that there should be a confederation of Congress? Can it work?
If I understand what Mr. Manishankar, I don't think so. Because the regional parties today, unlike in the 60s, 70s, 80s, etc., have evolved into strong parties of their own. and they guard their turf very carefully. And I don't think they would be interested in now coming together with the Congress. I think it's too late. The Congress, after the death of Y.S.R. Reddy, did not treat Jagan very well. After all, Mamata Banerjee at one time was also within the Congress. Large number of small groups were earlier within the Congress. Why did they leave? I'm not sure any such confederation would work unless the Congress first puts its own house in order. And here I would like to make just one or two points.
Yeah.
One is, I think time is of essence, I would say. Both defeat as well as victory produces a window of opportunity. And I think the top leadership, whether in fact Rahul Gandhi should have taken very prompt action. And today we don't know really what is happening, and days are just passing by. The result is that the Congress party in the states is imploding. You look at Haryana, the fight between the Tanwar faction and the Huda faction. You look at Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, where we won. So,
Okay.
I mean, I think first the Congress must put its own house in order.
Before suggestions
the
of
top
a confederation.
needs to be reformed.
Okay.
Some
Let me get in more
I
views
don't
very
think
quickly.
it would work.
Yes, Rajesh, first of all, would you consider this confederation of the Congress mighty as an opponent?
I can say in today's scenario, Congress is going heavy. They had an ideology and they are deviating from their ideology. And I should not comment on what Congress is doing, but two or three things what Mani Sankarji told. He told that the lies on social media. Social media is to need of today, and it is very fast. It is reaching public at large, and person, if they don't feel, they don't consider it as right, they can immediately revert. It is
but
not
social
only
media has also
one-sided.
become an echo chamber. It's
is-
also an echo chamber,
and
Rajesh.
They also have to accommodate themselves.
You have to understand that there is fake news. It is peddled for political gains. It's happening all over the world.
It might be, I'm not saying, but blaming only the social media, a
Not
person
blaming only. We
who is
have-
a strong leader,
we
a
have
person who is an
Divya
accepted
Skandara.
leader, a person who has grown and I can say won the heart of public at large. And today also he is saying there are more who will be voting for us. He is not saying that they have not voted, they will be voting for us. So he still thinks that why these persons have not voted for us. We need to still work for further, and we have more responsibility on us, and we need to work further for all the ones who have not voted for us. And he had gained faith. They always question on the EVM. They question on the judiciary by impeachment on the Chief Justice. They question on each and every. I think the army, they question on.
Tell me something. I'll ask you a question.
Surgical strike,
Let me ask
everything.
you a question.
And
What
person
is
don't
wrong
take
in
it.
questioning?
No,
What is the harm in questioning?
I'm not all the authorities, when they win the 3 elections of 3 states, they never say that EVMs are hacked or EVMs are fake. And today everyone had seen that after this VVPAT, huge amount of public money had gone.
Okay.
Still not a single vote.
Okay, quick closing
was-
comments. Lord Meghna Desai, I think you suggested that there has to be an overhaul. There has to be the party has to reinvent itself, decide what it stands for in these modern times.
Let me also say that while Rahul Gandhi was made president, he was not obeyed. He was thwarted in Rajasthan, he was thwarted in Madhya Pradesh. Long ago he suggested primary as a method of selection of candidates. He was thwarted in that. So they say, oh sir, you must lead the party, but they not allow him to do anything. So he will say, I'm going to cut my losses, I'm going to go. Or maybe if you take the attitude of Ram and Bharat, for 12 years I'm going to go away. Like Jagan, I'm going to go around the country, but I'm not going to lead the party. And then let the party have a completely new working committee and completely new president and vice president.
Would you be open to a suggestion? He's been saying that you've been looking inwards for all the solutions, but what about this one, Mr. Iyer?
I certainly hope he doesn't go off into Vanvas, because he's there, he's a member of parliament.
He'll go to Europe.
He's a member of parliament. He's going to be a very important member of the front bench, even if he's not the leader of the opposition. He has shown himself to be open to be the leader of the opposition. So this it's an attractive example that you've given, analogy that
party. Manishankar, about the party, not the parliament. You know, please think, we
No,
are
no.
not your enemies. We are your friends. We are trying to make suggestions.
I don't see, I gave you the examples of a whole series of Congress presidents who were not
They were all
either
utterly
the Nehru
useless.
or the Gandhi.
They were all
but,
utterly useless.
you may say
I
they were
remember,
utterly useless.
India is Indira, Indira is India.
No,
We
that's
remember
true.
that man.
Some of them
You know,
went
exactly.
overboard, and but I'm saying that there are precedents for the situation in which we find ourselves.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
Okay. Quick closing comments. Dilip.
You know, I
30
think whether the
seconds, yeah.
cutoff is 50 or 60, you need a younger party Politburo.
Why
to
are you
take
stuck
charge.
on that figure, 50
No,
or
I'm
60?
I'm
I mean, in
just
the
saying-
BJP, it's 75.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
okay, let's make it 75, but let's have some kind of a cutoff. Recognize that the party has to tackle and win young votes. That's the first thing. And the second thing, the party has to recognize that the times are gone when they could do politics at will. Now it's 24/7 by 365, as you said. And unless there's a committed leadership which is willing to do that,
And that at present is not happening.
with very little funds, they have to make sure you go back to volunteerism and the movement that Mr. Manishankar Iyer said. It
Okay.
has to be a people's movement.
Okay, so will the Congress party be able to, Lord Meghna, this I feel that this process should have begun in 2014. Manishankar Iyer feels all is not lost. You've seen a lot worse and perhaps there will be a revival. Let's just say that at least a blueprint must exist whenever that happens. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on debate number 1.